up, people? It is Green of the Simply Green podcast. I got to get used to saying that. What up, man? It's February 13th, 2019, one day before Valentine's Day. And I'm sitting here recording my first episode by myself. And I'll say it is kind of weird because like someone just told me like an hour ago, I don't know if I could just sit here in front of a mic and just talk for an hour. And I'm like, yeah, we kind of do it all the time. But anywho, hey man, I don't even know where to start off at. I guess it's just me talking about stuff that's happened since. I did say this was going to be a Valentine's Day kind of theme, but before we get into that, let's talk about what's been going on and why is there a new show instead of the highly rated Green Tea podcast. So, people have been asking me since we had our last episode back in May of 2018. Everybody's, well, you know, what happened to it, man? We were, you know, we liked it, we enjoyed it. What happened to it? Well, honestly, I'll give you the abbreviated version. So basically, me and my partner T, we are still friends. We still talk, maybe not as much, but we still talk. Honestly, you know, he wanted to do more on his end. He had a project he wanted to work on. He asked me to be a part of it. And honestly, you know, I just told him, I was like, what we had going on, I liked. And the direction he was going, that's just not where I wanted to go at with it, you know? And I mean, we had a little spat. I'll say that. We did have a little spat, but you know, we still homeboys. We still talk, you know what I mean? You know, it is what it is, but you know, still good. He's doing his thing on over there on Unbox, and here I am. So that's how that happened. So, but since the time frame, since the last episode, I'm trying to go back and think what all has happened with me. Took a couple trips, you know. I went to Rome, went to Amsterdam, saw the Jay-Z and Beyonce on the Run 2 tour. Was not impressed. Now, I don't know, and I say that because I don't know if it was because it was overseas and maybe they just do things differently, or, you know, they had just released the new album, the Carter's album, and, you know, everybody was talking about it, and then the tour happened, and then some people was like, oh, well, they're going to have this whole new dance routine, and, you know, 444 just came out, you know, a couple weeks after that, or before that, so you would think, oh, you know, Jay-Z would have a couple of songs he was going to do. Honestly, to me, being that I've seen the On the Run first one, it was pretty much the same show with Jay-Z doing maybe 2 or 3 songs off of 444, and they did like a new cinematic skit, if that's what you want to call it, or story, quote unquote, if that's what you want to call it. And I mean, for the most part, you know, I guess, my opinion, did I get my money's worth? I guess. The wife was happy. She had a good time. And it was really just because knock 2 birds out with 1 stone. Hey, I'll go to Amsterdam and she'll get to see Jay-Z and Beyonce overseas. So that's how that worked. Now, as far as the trip itself, I did end up losing my bag, which was a story in itself. This is the thing. It's one thing to lose your bag, traveling, whatever, but when you work for the company that loses your bag, it kind of digs the knife a little deeper. So the trip in its entirety was only, 4 or 5 days? And I didn't get my bag until a week after I got back. Now, I had to buy, obviously, I had to buy new stuff while I was there. Yeah, that was. And the other thing about it is the people in Europe, their sizes are cut a little differently, and it's not made for a man with my proportions, if you want to call it that. But yeah, it was a time over there having to buy new clothes. And trust me, a lot of people was like, oh man, well, why didn't you just do a carry-on? I'm like, dude, I'm going to Amsterdam and then I'm going to Paris. I'm like, how am I supposed to like pack? I'm supposed to pack like 4 pairs of pants in a small duffel bag? Like, that's not going to work for me. Like, I'm not skinny. I can't roll them things up. So yeah, I had to pack like I was going on tour, and I guess that's the thing that got me. But I will say I did get everything back that was in the bag after I already made a claim of what was in it, and I ain't gonna lie, I did added some stuff onto it. It is what it is. Everybody does it. But it seems like as soon as I made my claim, and it was like, hey, here you go. This is what all I missed. 3 pairs of Jordans. I had a PlayStation 5 in there. And, I'm going to need all that back. And as soon as I sent that ticket in, oh man, we found your bag. And what's so funny about it is that they found my bag in Orlando. But I put my bag claimed in Atlanta, which was weird. So it's like, when I left Atlanta to go to Amsterdam, it's like, we're going to send you to Amsterdam, but we're going to send your bag to Orlando. And I just didn't get that at all. But that's what happened with that. So, so that's Amsterdam. Paris was pretty cool. Saw the Eiffel Tower. Ended up getting a crepe. Actually, I think the wife got a crepe. What did I get? I know, you know what? I did get one. Bought me a hand purse or a man purse, whatever you want to call it. I did rock it. Actually, I still got it, and I probably, honestly, I'd still would rock it. It's not as bad. Like, it does come in handy. Like, sometimes, like, if you got a lot of stuff in your wallet and you're sitting down for a long period of time and you don't want to sit on that bad boy, like, that shit hurt. So a man purse. Hey, don't knock it until you get one. And hell, I got one and I had everything in there. Wallet, passport, it came in handy. So you see me rocking it in the next coming weeks, or when it start getting a little hot, hey, don't knock it till you try it, Playboy. But Paris was pretty cool. Didn't really do too much because of the setback we had getting to Amsterdam. But everything worked out. We got to see the tour. We got to the Eiffel Tower, did a little shopping. Feel like I'm missing something, but all in all, it was a good trip. What else happened since then? I went to Alabama for the first time. Birmingham, went to Birmingham. Hey, let's just say I went to Birmingham. It was a quick trip. It was for work. Wasn't really able to do that much, but it was a quick trip, and Birmingham is Birmingham. Believe the hype. Most recently, I was able, even though football season is over, Patriots won. They got their 6th ring. I'm not gonna go over that, but it is what it is. Patriots. I mean, can we just say something real quick? I mean, look, I'm not knocking Tom Brady at all. Tom Brady he's a beast. He does what he does, but I'm not lying. Is it just better for us to just, just ease that man out? No. Look, the man did what he did. 6 rings, not knocking him. But I know everybody's in agreement where they're like, look, can we just go ahead and get this out the way? Can we just move on? Someone else in the AFC has to do something. Like, come on, man. But it is what it is. But when my team, as everybody well know, Dallas Cowboys, was in the playoffs, they had a first round wild card weekend at home. I was able to go, and I went to the Dallas Cowboys Stadium for the first time. That story, man, I don't even know where to begin on that bad boy. So I decided, it was a Saturday night game. So I decided, I was like, you know what? All right. Some friends of mine, they went and got tickets. So, excuse me. So they were like, hey, got an extra ticket if you want to go. I'm like, all right, bet. Like, they're like, well, look, it's kind of, it ain't with us. And I was like, all right, hey, I don't care. Like, it's playoff weekend, and I'm going to the stadium. I mean, obviously I don't have to pay for flights, but hey, I'll take it. So that's what I did. So I decided to leave because it was a Saturday night game. I left Friday. Now, unbeknownst to me, which you would probably think, oh, it's going to be hard to get into Dallas, which it was. Dallas-Fort Worth. I was not able to get a direct flight because obviously everybody else was trying to get to the game just like I was. So what's the next best thing? Try to get somewhere closer. So I was like, oh, well, maybe I should try Houston, which, unbeknownst to me, did not realize, oh, the first playoff game that day was going to be in Houston because it was Houston versus Indianapolis. I did not realize that until the very last second. So I was literally scrambling in Atlanta because I made it to Atlanta. It was like 9:30, rounding up all the last minute flights, and it's like I'm barely scrambling. I'm going from one terminal to the other side, and I'm like, if anybody flew in Atlanta, you probably gonna drop about 10 pounds running from A to B when you need to be at C or whatever the case may be. So, long story short, it wasn't looking good. So I ended up taking a flight to Little Rock, Arkansas, and from Arkansas, I ended up taking a 6-hour bus ride to Dallas-Fort Worth. Now, I paid, like $35 for a bus ride. Shout out the Mega Bus. Don't sleep on bus rides, all right? This bus ride cost me $30. I was able to pick my own seat, and the boy had a little stop at a gas station. I don't even know how far we were into the drive, but hey, man, it was one of those double-decker buses. $35. It beats the hell out of a Greyhound bus, but it worked out. Got to Dallas Fort Worth Saturday morning. I got there like right around 6:30, 7 o'clock. Caught me a rental, and bing bang boom, man. Within like an hour and a half, I was at the stadium. Now, I did not realize that it's the ticket that the person bought for me was like $75, right? And now he was cool. He's like, man, look, it's a last minute thing. You ain't got to pay me back. I was like, all right, cool. So I'm looking at it because I'm always looking to save money. I'm getting ready to see my Cowboys play in a playoff game. First time in the brand new stadium. I'm trying to come up. I'm trying to save as much money as I can, obviously. So I thought I can probably get away with not really having to pay for the parking pass. Now, the parking pass, people, is $100. 100 of them things that they want you to pay to park. Now, yeah, I could easily probably find some SA who had a parking lot, which there was a lot. It was a lot. Like, I'm not trying to sound racist, but there were a lot of SAs. And I mean, I get it. It's Dallas. It's Texas, right underneath or right above Mexico. I get it. But I didn't want to pay that $100. So me being the tourist that I am, stubborn, I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to pay this $100. So right across from the stadium, there is I don't even remember what hotel it was. It might have been a Motel 6 or it was some rinky-dink hotel. But that hotel has got to be making money because it is literally right across the street from the stadium. I'm talking, I could throw a rock to the parking lot and probably hit somebody at the stadium. That's how close across the street this thing is. Now, I got to this parking lot so early that the only people obviously was there was the people who were staying at this hotel. Now, I got a spot. Now, all the hotel spots in the parking lot had numbers for everybody's room. So I was like, all right, cool, man. I won't park in somebody's spot. Obviously, I'll just park in this one spot that doesn't have any numbers on it. It had no numbers. It had no sign on it. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to park right here. You know, it's a banging spot. Reminds me of George Costanza and Seinfeld. Hey, I'm not giving up this spot. So I didn't give up the spot. Like, I chilled in that spot. My rental car was in that spot all day. From the time I got there at like 8:30, people were already outside starting to tailgate at 8:30. So from that time forward, I was like, dude, I'm parking my car right here. Next thing you know, I'm like, if I got to go to the bathroom, there was a Walmart kind of down the street. Boom. There was a Jack in the Box about 2 doors down. Dude, I was good. CVS, whatever. Nobody had porta potties already out. Dude, this thing, I'm saving money. I'm looking at it like this point, dude, I'm saving money. So all day goes through. I end up going to the stadium a little early before the gates actually opened. Went to the shop, saw the shop inside the stadium, went to the Walmart across the street. Big shout out to that Walmart. As soon as you walk in the door, I'm talking Dallas Cowboy apparel from lawn and garden all the way to the McDonald's. Because you know every Walmart got a McDonald's in it. So as soon as you walk in, Dallas Cowboy apparel, just like keep all the way going. From first cashier to the self-checkout aisle, all the way to the pharmacy. There's nothing but Dallas Cowboy apparel. But, you know, I ended up kind of just messing around until it was time for the game to start. Now, the game didn't start until like 8 o'clock, but the doors opened. And this is, we got to remind you, this is, an hour? I think it was like 2 hours behind East Coast time or whatever. So gates didn't open until like 5 o'clock. So I decided, all right, well, I'm cool, you know, I'm good. I'm checking the spot. Now, throughout the day, people started showing up in that parking lot that I was in. Some people did not stay at that hotel, but they obviously had some type of security going on. And, you know, I did talk to the person who owned the hotel, and I asked them about the spot I was in. Now, I should have been more, I guess, I should have thought more about it. Like, I'm not from this place. No boy trying to make money. I should have just bought the bullet and been like, all right, let's just get it over with. How much is it? Boom. Give me a little ticket so I can go. But I didn't do that because I was being stubborn. I'm trying to save money. So I go to the game. We actually won the game. Game's over. I ended up, I mean, dude, it was like I was running out that stadium. I'm like, all right. Because the plan was to catch the game, go back to the rental car, hop in the rental car, go back to the airport, and just chill and wait for the first thing so I can get back to the house. Which would have happened until I get back to my car and it is not there. My car got impounded, people. Yes, they jacked my car up and they carried it away. And they waited too. They waited until they knew the game was getting ready to start. They know a lot of people was on their way to the stadium. Nobody's gonna be in their car. They got me. Dallas Fort Worth, Days Inn. That's what it was. It was a Days Inn hotel. You got me. And you better believe when I come back, I'm gonna find you, green shirt dude. I'm gonna find you. Don't think I don't remember who you are. Green shirt dude, I'm finding your ass. But anyway, so mind you, it started getting a little chilly that night, and by the time the game was over, it was probably like a little bit after 11:30 when the game was over. So run back to the car, realize it's not there. I go inside. I'm talking to the person who's different from the person who I talked to earlier that day, obviously, and I'm like, all right. I said, y'all boy took the car. Where do y'all take the cars at after they get impounded? And it's like, oh, well, the number's on a sign. So I go, I call the number. I'm talking to them, and I'm like, can you tell me where the car is so I can kind of just catch an Uber to the place, whatever. And they're like, all right, well, it's at this place. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'm like, well, how much is it going to be? Now, I figured the parking pass was $100. The parking lot where I parked at, they wanted $100. So I'm like, all right, 200, 250 max, you know? Man, I mean, it ain't that much of a big jump, but yeah, like, it hurt me. Them cats wanted 200 and, how was it, 289 or 290 something? It was right at $300. Like, and I'm looking back at it, and I hate even talking about it because it was such a pull to the T that it should just hurt. And I'm like, I should just pay that 100. You know, I go back and I think about it when it comes up in question. I should just pay that 100. I know I should just pay that 100, but no, me being a green and being stubborn and not thinking, that's what I got. That's what I get. So, dude, I go to this place where they keeping cars for ransom, because that's what they doing. And the one thing is, I had to get out of the place. Game's over, everybody's back in their cars, everybody's trying to get out, so you know it's going to take like an hour, probably more than that, to get out of there, which it did. So I really didn't get to the impound lot until like maybe 1 o'clock. Dude, I get to this place and there's at least 4 other people ahead of me, same MO. They got jacked or impounded, whatever. One person told me, because there was a good bit of us, one person told me he paid $50 for the parking lot, but he forgot to put the sticker in the window, or the paper in the sticker, or the paper in the window, and they still took his car away. And I'm like, well, if you still got that sticker, shouldn't you just show them and bing, bang, boom? And I was like, nope, they ain't honoring that. And I'm like, bump that. I paid $50. I still got the stamp that shows it, and you still, all right, it's on me. I didn't put it in the window, but you know I paid for it. But yeah, so long story short, paid the money. I got the car out. I mean, I wanted it. After the game was over and I realized the car was gone and now I know what I had in front of me, I wanted to get out of Dallas-Fort Worth so fast, you just do not understand. But all in all, lesson learned. I got to see my team. They won. It was a good thing, good feeling. But, man, I didn't want to pay that almost $300. It hurt. It really did hurt. But, you know, like my wife told me, she was like, well, at least you had the money to pay it. I was like, yeah, but I still don't want to pay it. Who wants to pay that much money for something that, okay, I deserve it, but I'm like, did I really deserve it, though? You know? I was like, I get it. It's Texas, and everybody trying to get their monies off, but I'm like, my God. Jesus, man. But that's pretty much that, man, in a nutshell. Where we at? Almost 22 minutes. Not bad. So, that's pretty much everything that's happened, man. There's been some other stuff that's happened, personal and whatnot, but, you know, it is what it is, you know. That's for, later episodes. We'll come across that. But this episode is about Valentine's Day. Oh, my God. Let's start off with this, people. Valentine's Day, I pose this question. Let me just pose this question out for people. Who is Valentine's Day for, really? Like, who's it for? Because it ain't for us, okay? I'm sorry. I'm putting it out there. If you have a penis, it's not for you. It's not for us. It's not for males. I've come to the conclusion, I've been on this earth for 35 years, and I've probably been buying stuff for females probably since, who knows, probably since middle school. You know who you are. You know who you are. Alice Burney Middle School. You know who you are. I ain't gonna put no names out there, but you know who you are. But, since then, you know, I buy stuff for my mom when I was young from Big Lots, because that's all a dude could afford. But even then, even when I can remember my dad being in the household in Valentine's Day, honestly, I take that back. I don't remember my dad buying my mom stuff for Valentine's Day because that's just how my old man was. Like, I don't remember him doing stuff like that, you know. But, I mean, being married and even before I was married and prior relationships that I have, I've always, I mean, even to this day, I still buy stuff for my mom. I still buy stuff for my aunt. Now that I'm married, obviously I got to buy stuff for my wife. And, now that I have a little girl, I got to buy stuff for her. But what about me? Like, I say the same thing to my son. I'm like, what about him? What about us? Are we so null and void that we don't even have a stake in the day? I mean, honestly, ask yourself this question. When the last time you saw your dad get a gift on Valentine's Day, or your brother? Or is it you see them running the wall? Dude, I just came from Walmart like 2 hours ago to go get some stuff. And I mean, the whole Valentine theme aisle it's just flooded with dudes. Bears and candy and flowers. And I saw one dude with rose petals. He had like 4 handful size of rose petals. Like he's putting in work tomorrow. Like he must not have kids. If he's doing all of that, he must not have kids. Because if you buying rose petals, you either don't have kids or you're preparing to have kids. One or the other. But the point I'm trying to make is that, dude, it's nothing but men. I don't want to put everybody in that situation, but I will say this. There were, for every one girl I probably saw, 10 dudes. Right off the bat. And is it to the point that we should, is it that we don't expect nothing anymore? Or is it to the point where, I guess every once in a blue moon, you might have the female that says in the relationship, oh, you don't have to buy me anything, Valentine's Day, or it goes the other way around where the guy comes back and say, oh, well, I give my woman everything. I give her everything. I give her things every day of the week. What's one day? And I'm like, all right, cool. I mean, if that's what you do. But the point I'm trying to make is, what about the guy? Yeah, people probably not gonna like when I say this, but we buy these candies and flowers and bears and rose petals because, honestly, and I hate to put it, but it's the truth, because we are preparing for what we think is about to be a night full of hot, how can I put this? I mean, it's going to be... You're buying all this stuff for some X-rated stuff to happen. Let's just be honest. Okay? If you have kids, maybe not that much, because, hey, it's... not to say like it's a regular day, but you're still buying stuff, and you're buying stuff because your significant other, that's what they want. Women will say, some of them will say, oh, you don't have to buy me anything. I'm not looking for you to buy me anything. But you and I both know that if you walked in a house on Valentine's Day with no card, no flowers, no candy, no stuffed bear, and just walked in and be like, hey, you cooking dinner tonight? You might as well get prepared to sleep on the couch. Because you are not getting no sex. Your communication lines are cut off. You're getting a silent treatment for at least until Monday. At least until Monday. I'm sorry if I'm sniffling, but, my whole household, I think 75% of the people, you know what? I'll bump it. It's 100%. Everybody's coughing right now. It's the weather in Charleston, man. It's cold, 6 a.m. in the morning, and then by noon, everybody got on shorts and ready to go to the beach. That's how it is in Charleston, man. And then, pollen is getting ready to drop, and it just, oh my God. I don't have a real bad, allergic reaction. I don't think it's allergic, but you know what I mean. But, yeah, back to the point I was trying to make. Valentine's Day, fellas, my God, it's not for us anymore. we're getting cycled out of Valentine's Day. You know, it's for the woman. You're supposed to value the woman. But what about us? You know, what about us? I could be wrong. But try this experiment, you know? Try this experiment. A lot of people already went and bought their stuff. It is what it is. And, you know, you'll have some guys will come across and be like, oh, well, you don't care about your woman. No, that's not the case. I care about my wife. I care about my daughter. I just want to know if the feeling is mutual. Like, if I'm just not some living, breathing, paperweight. You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, I understand that. Sorry. I can just hear T in the back of my mind right now. Like, oh, you really gotta be like doing your nose like that. Like, wow, I mean, I can't help it. But yeah, like, I mean, you just wonder, like, am I gonna get something this year? I mean, I know I gotta get something for her, but am I gonna get something this year? You know, I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but Valentine's Day, man, like, does it even matter to the male species anymore? You know, like, you really think, like, back in the day, like, cavemen was worrying about, well, obviously cavemen didn't know what the day of the week was, but you understand what I'm saying. Like, when did we get to the point as men and women that one will overrank the other one on this particular day? I mean, you got dudes out there, like I say, you got dudes out there who are literally spending all this money, which that's your prerogative if that's what you want to do. But my thing is that, are you getting anything for Valentine's Day? Or are you getting, and I hate to say this, but are you getting the same sexual attention that you would have got on Friday that you are getting on Thursday just because it's Valentine's Day? You know? I don't know what to say, but I'd say probably the same. I mean, hell, they might spike it up a little bit. Oh, you know, we gonna do something different tonight. Really? Just because it's Valentine's Day? I couldn't get that on Monday, you know? But now I gotta get it on. I get it once a month, once a year, because it's Valentine's Day. Maybe your birthday if you act right, but you know, it always kind of behooves me how this month, you know, everybody's like, oh well, it's a month where, you know, the everybody spends money, or the guys are spending all the money, so it's a money driven day, or whatever the case may be. I don't care, but the point I'm trying to make is that, what about us? You know, I would like some candy. You know what I mean? I would like some candy. You know, I get a card from my wife, you know, Christmas, my birthday, whatever. I get one. But what about Valentine's Day? You know? Just asking. It is what it is. Oh, man. Valentine's Day. I'm like, my God, man. Some people might actually sit back and be like, look, it's just a regular day. You know, those, like I said, those guys who be like, oh, I don't have to buy my wife. I buy my wife stuff all the time. Or I buy my girlfriend something all the time. All right, cool, man. If that's what you do. If that's what you do. You know, I used to, before I got married, I used to, for every year that my wife finished a school year, because she's a teacher, I used to have flowers sent to her on the last day of school, or maybe like the day before, or the last day of school when it's all said and done. I used to send a thing of flowers and a card just to say congratulations on another year, you know, and small things like that. I honestly can't remember the last time I did that. And maybe that's on me, you know, but yeah, like, I do feel sometimes we as men, we do, I mean, we still try to impress. You know, it's like we have to. Because you don't want your significant other to get bored all of a sudden, you know. And it should go both ways, you know. Sometimes it doesn't, but that's what marriage is. It's not for everybody, but hey. But no, I think when it gets to the point that you stop trying to impress, that's when it's a problem. You know, like I said, a lot of things has happened to where a man might get to the point where they be like, I just don't feel like doing this anymore. And when you come to that position and you're like, I just don't want to do this no more. I mean, I guess you should get points for that, because a lot of dudes don't do that. Like, a lot of dudes will just sit there and mull in it, especially if you got kids. They'll just sit there and they'll mull in it year after year, month after month, and it's like, you're not doing either one of you an injustice. Like you have to say something, because you're literally just walking into this place or this relationship, and you're like, it's like prison. You're outside, but you're in prison, you know? But I don't know. 35, and I'm damn sure not having no more kids. Got that taken care of. Snip, snip. But, you know, I always wondered, like, if my wife is like, oh, well, you know, maybe. Sometimes I see, like, we might be having a conversation or we're watching something on TV, and it's that quick 5 to 10 seconds of whatever we're watching, and it has a baby on it. And she might get it. Because trust me, I have never sat since I got snipped and thought, oh yeah, like, I want another kid. No. I am so done with having kids. Like, I am so done with having kids, man. Like, I am done. I love both my kids. Do not get it twisted. I love my son. I love my daughter. But trust me, I am done with kids. I am so done with kids. And I honestly think my wife might have been, like, playing. I think she thought I was playing when I told her that I'm done. Like, I'm gonna go get snipped. I think she thought I was BSing when I said that. Like, oh, he's just saying that. No. Once my daughter came out and she was healthy and everything was rolling smoothly, I made an appointment so quick. Like, I wasn't nervous at all. Like, homeboy was like, hey, you coming in at 4:30? We're going to wrap this up about 5:01. Boy, got to beat traffic, so I can understand that. But, you know, I got it done with the quickness, and I don't regret it. Everybody was like, oh, well, you know, was that a decision that both of you make? Not really. Not really. It was more of, I'm going to go ahead and set this appointment up. And, you know, my mom, you sure you don't want me to come? I'm like, Mom, I'm not going in for, like, open heart surgery. Like, this is quick. This is in and out. Well, you know, listen, I'll go with you. And I'm like, you don't have to do that. But she came anyway, you know, and, you know, my mom, man, she will go. It don't matter what's going on. She's going to be there. You know, she will be there. Oh, man. But anyway, what is coming up? What is coming up next, man? What are we in? We are in February right now. March is coming up. My mom's birthday is coming up. So my mom is turning 60. And I want to fly her out somewhere. So her birthday is at the end of the month. And, you know, me and my siblings, the plan was to take her out, to kind of just get her on a plane and to, like, hey, where do you want to go? You know, that was the plan. But having kids sometimes halt things, you know, put things on a pause. So, you know, since the initial idea, things has changed. You know, I didn't want my mom to take too many days off, so I told her to take off March 1st, which is like the first Friday of the month. Of the month. But her birthday's on the 27th, so it's like the middle of the week. There's only 28 days in a month, so kind of gotta do what we can. So the first thing that came to mind, obviously, was like, oh, just take her to Vegas. And I'm like, my God, man, like, can I not get away from this goddamn place? Like, for anybody who knows me, I don't have anything against Vegas. I'm just tired of Vegas. Like, I think if I ever go back to Vegas, if it's not barring an emergency or some class that I am taking or something like that, the only way I go back to Las Vegas is my wife wanted to go. But I don't think she would ever want to go to Vegas, because I think she thinks I've like I've soiled in Vegas. Like the hype of Vegas for her would be like very, very dismal because I've been there so many times. So I don't think she would want to go to Vegas, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to. I don't want to say ever, but never or whatever. But I don't think we're done with Vegas. You know, there's so many other places you can go. You know, but no, that was the plan. But that kind of, I think what I wanted to do was kind of just get my mom out of her element, because my mom has lived in Charleston like all her life, besides, with my dad being in the service, so they kind of hopped around when I was really, really young, or at least when my brother was really, really young. But no, I just really wanted to get her out, like get her on a plane. But the thing about it is, like, I actually called my mom like a couple days ago. And I'm like talking to her, and I said, listen, have you ever just thought about getting on a plane and just going somewhere? You don't have to pay for the ticket. Just get on a plane. Let's just go somewhere. The thing about my mom is that she's been so like sheltered. My mom's first plane ride was like a year ago. It wasn't nothing big, but it was just the mere fact of getting her on the plane. You would have thought she hit the lottery. Like, as soon as we touched down, we went from Charleston to Atlanta, and by the time we touched down in Atlanta, she was already calling all her friends, all her church friends, and like, oh, girl. Actually, I take that back. She was actually calling them on the plane. Like, girl, you ain't gonna believe this. I'm on a plane. Girl, we about to go up in the air. I was like, yeah, that's what they do. That's what these things do. They go up in the air, and it's just weird, because I mean, it's not like I'm a master of flying, but my first plane ride was actually given to me by my cousin. My cousin, when he was playing football, like, he was like, man, look, I'm about to go to, this place. I'm gonna drop you a ticket. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And like an hour later, he calls me back and he's like, man, what's your full name? Like, first name, middle name, And it's weird that I've known this dude for as long as I have, and he doesn't know my full first, middle, and last name, which was weird, but all in all, man, that was my first trip, and I mean, it is what it is, man. But the main part of the story was, like, my mom is like, she just does not know what she want to do. And I'm like, what do you want to do? Like, you want to go to California? Obviously she doesn't have a passport, but it's like she couldn't think of anything. Like, we're so boxed in, no pun intended, Tyrone, but we're so boxed in to our regular norms, just getting up in the morning, going to work, getting off work, going back home, rinse and repeat. That's it. And that's us 300 days out of the year, pretty much, right? But I'm trying to take her out of that element, I'm like, oh, let's just do something different, let's just go do something different. And she's still, to this moment, currently, right now, she still hasn't given me an answer of what she want to do. So we actually dwindled it down, I guess, to just doing like a quick trip to Atlanta. And I think that's what we're gonna do. I think we're just gonna go to Atlanta, probably like have dinner somewhere. We got, we do have some family members that live out in Atlanta. So, who knows? Maybe I'll take my mom to Magic City or Blue Flame. Actually, you know what? I'm not taking my mom to none of those places, because if I didn't have fun in none of those places, I mean, I know for a fact that my mom will never go to one of these places, but maybe if Kurt Franklin was there or something like that, maybe she'll go, or Shirley Caesar or somebody like that, maybe she'll go. But no, man, like these strip clubs like 112 when it was there, and Magic City and fucking Onyx and oh my god, they get so much hype because of the videos and stuff that you hear about and damn. But bro, when I went to Onyx, no, not what was the last one? I went to Magic City. My homeboy was getting married, and we ended up going there because we was in Atlanta, and I honestly did not have a good time. And it's not because of the people or not. It was just like, you can tell when some place, like, this just ain't us. Like, I've always told people, man, I have the best fun in the most seediest places. Like, you give me a nightclub where, toilet don't work, or I can't deal with a club where it's $20. You already paid $20 and you ain't even park your car yet. You know what I mean? Like, it's $20 to park. If it's $20 to park, how much you think it's gonna cost to get in? It's like, I've already spent $60 and I ain't even in the club yet. Like, come on, man. Man, that's why I like my homeboy T, man. Like, we went, because T was there, we went to this place called Follies. And I tell him all the time, I give him credit when it's due. And we had more fun at Follies. Now, granted, it ain't like we've been balling. That's just the thing, though. We didn't ball out. We didn't spend a check. We didn't spend a bag, quote unquote. But no, it was just like in that scene. It was just that ambiance that was there. It was like, it's not like you ain't got to worry about, oh man, it's 112 or it's fucking Magic City, and it's, oh man, like, dude, Follies, I'd always go back to Follies, but it is what it is. I don't think my mom's gonna end up going there, but I don't know. I think we'll probably just end up maybe going to the Coca-Cola place and having dinner later on that night, and probably catching a late flight coming back just to be back home, I guess. Just to get her out, man. It's her 60th birthday, and you're not on this place we call Earth for a very long time, and it's just to the point of, I already lost my dad, and I really want to do something for her, As much as my mom's done for us, especially for me and my older brother when we were young, I really just want to be like, do something for her, That's really all it is. I mean, hell, I'm not, it ain't like I'm banking, because trust me, if I didn't hold the position that I do or work for the place that I did, we would be right here in Charleston going to Hyman's Seafood, probably. Sorry again for the sniffles, but so we'll figure out something eventually. What else we got coming up, man? Birthday, 36, turning 36, I don't know. I think, like, if, once you hit the 30, and I think, well, after it's 21, and it's, like, what's the next big age? I guess 40, because they're like, 20 is the new 40. I doubt it. I really, really doubt it. It's funny talking to my homeboys now, like, that are around. Obviously, my homeboy Mike, he's obviously the same age I am. And it's funny, like, we were just talking the other day, and it's like, man, like, we used to go hard in the club scene. Mostly, a lot of times it was work. It's not like we were just going to the club every weekend. We were working, for the most part. We were working. But, it's like now, man, kids, they change you. Nothing new, right? Kids will change you. But my Lord, man, I tell you, getting off from work and having your kid all day and putting them down to sleep at like 9 o'clock. I know somebody who put their kids down at like 7 o'clock. I'm like, for the rest of the day? Like, that's it? Your kids don't get up once you put them to bed at 7 o'clock? I was like, what are y'all doing? My little girl will stay up past midnight if you allow her to. Past midnight. I don't like it when she does it, but then she got the nerve to come and sleep in my room. Like, don't get it twisted. I already got to deal with somebody cutting the floors in my bedroom. Now I got to worry about a 2-year-old kicking me. Lucky enough, we have a 4-bedroom place, so I come right up in my office. I got a little bed in here now. Shit. Only time I go downstairs is when I need to. I'm pretty sure my wife's not going to like that, but it's the truth. It's the truth. It will never be her coming up here. I know that for sure. So, and I call that's marriage. Still working hard on it, man. It's not for everybody. It is not for everybody, man. I've only been married for 4 years now. Oh, that's another thing. Another thing that's happened since the last episode. One of my close friends, she got married. Shonda, she got married. Congratulations to her and her husband. Sorry I couldn't make the festivities. I did see her when they came back from their honeymoon. She flew into Charleston. I was able to meet the young man, and I'm so happy for her, man. I say it again, man. Congratulations. Hopefully, if you hear this, congratulations to you and your family. Hope everything works out, which I know it will. It's funny though. I talked to her, I think like a week. Yeah, I did. I talked to her like a week before she got married, and I'm not saying that I'm not happy in my marriage, but you could just tell when someone's happy, when they know, and that's what I heard in her voice. She was happy. And like I say, man, I tell her, when I see her, we joke around. We still have the conversations that we do, maybe not as much because, she's got a family, I got mine. But when we do talk to each other, it's like we didn't even miss a beat, Dear friend of mine, goddamn Shonda Hill, and she's not Shonda Hill anymore, but, La Shonda, one of my close friends. But congratulations to her and her husband and her family. Hope everything works out. What else has happened? Trying to think I hit everything. Think I hit everything. Where we at? 52 minutes in. Well, I mean, I don't know what else to talk about, man. I don't want to keep it to where I'm just rambling the whole time. I mean, trust me, if you keep coming back to this podcast, you're going to hear me rambling a lot. But, it's a little different. Talking to myself pretty much and putting it on something for someone else to kind of listen to. Sorry for the sniffle again. But, this is a Simply Green podcast, people. I'm going to try to put one of these out every week. Hopefully you listen to it. Make sure I put it out on all the social media outlets. Obviously you're going to catch it on Facebook. You can catch it on the Simply Green podcast. That's the page name on Facebook. Same Simply Green podcast on, I think on Instagram, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's it might be the, I can't remember. Not right now, because I'm trying to, if you hear me clicking, it's because I'm trying to open up my phone to get to it. But I think it's, like DA or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see if I can get to it. Yeah, it's D, like the Simply Green podcast, because someone has, I don't think it allowed me to put in the, so I had to do the, like DA Simply podcast, or the Simply Green podcast on Instagram. I don't think I've done the Snapchat yet. Haven't gotten to that point yet, but we are on Spotify. Still waiting on iTunes. And I can't get on Google for some reason. I don't know. But the Simply Green Podcast on Instagram, the Simply Green Podcast on Facebook, and all other outlets. Like I say, man, this is just going to be me checking in on you from time to time, telling you what's got going on. And like I said, you know, this was a Valentine's Day theme, I guess you would say, doing a little catch up, letting everybody know what's happened since. But yeah, man, this is pretty much what it's going to be, man. And I hope you take an hour of your time while you're working out or whatever you're doing. Take a gander or listen to what I got going on, and hopefully it's something that you can relate to, I guess. But hey, Simply Green Podcast, people, appreciate it. And I guess I'll holler at you next week, I guess. Be safe.